Hi guys, it's Michelle, Deception Bytes, and it is September 9th, and it's 11:06 p.m. Eastern Time. I have gone through the Q post for this evening, but I did want to just touch on some Q-related news and some news that I think that you'll find really interesting. I've been sitting on some of it for a while, and some of it's new. In fact, what I'm going to show you first just happened this evening. I had to go run to the mall. I needed cat food and some other few things. And on the way, actually, it was on the way into the mall, the shop right to my right, something caught my eye in the window and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. So I walked in and I started taking pictures and I drew a little bit of attention. So I was trying to use my cell phone and just kind of be nonchalant, but I wanted to get as many pictures as possible. I didn't get as many as I wanted because obviously they were curious about what I was doing and why. But I did get 4 pictures that I think you will find very, very interesting. They are selling these t-shirts at my local mall. Now, okay. Now, here's the first one. Let me see here. Yeah, this one. Let's sacrifice Toby. And you've got a child laying here. You've got a little girl with a knife about to sacrifice, this little boy. And you've got 3 blocks that say 666 and a black cat. And then up here, you've got activities for children. And you've got a globe, and this globe looks awfully familiar to me. I'm not sure if that's the UN symbol, part of the UN symbol or not. But anyway, yeah. Would you want your kids to wear that t-shirt? Or would you wear it? I think it's absolutely, I don't even know. I don't know the word for it. It actually, I mean, I understand humor. Look, I understand humor. I live for humor. And I generally don't get too bent out of shape about things, but knowing that this stuff is real, it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. This is for sale at the mall, and these are hanging in the window as you walk into the mall. The place is called Spencer's. The store name is Spencer's. I looked on the tag of the shirt. It's made by Threadless, and I looked that up. And Threadless looks like a company where anybody can design these shirts. So I'm not 100% sure. Are these being sold at all the Spencer stores? I don't even think they have Spencer's in the States. I think it's a Canadian store. But are these being sold other places? Have you ever seen these shirts? Now, some of these pictures aren't the best. This one's Fun at the Farm, and it has a very, evil looking goat and a little boy, and the barn is on fire. So what was he doing? What kind of fun was he having at the farm? He was setting the barn on fire, obviously. And there's the goat, and there's a crow and a skull. Yeah. And this one doesn't say activities for children, though, although, this is obviously a child with a pitchfork. He was obviously in the barn. Otherwise, he wouldn't have the pitchfork, and the barn is now on fire. Yeah. So let's look at the next set here. This one says, stereo, devil's music, sing along. And of course, the stereo's on fire here. This one isn't quite as bad, but IGAOG. I'm not sure if that means anything. Sorry, I was staring at that for a minute, but and of course you got the horns here and the devils. Okay, that one's not as bad, except, it's still bad. And then you've got this. My first knife fight. hobbies and games. And you've got this same logo here. My first knife fight. And of course, he's got a little slash here. Yeah, I certainly wouldn't let a child of mine wear that. And if an adult is wearing this, then they've got issues. Either that, or they just think that this is all a big game. You know, all this stuff that we've been talking about, all this stuff that Q's been talking about is all a big game. And I can assure you that it's not. All right. So let's leave that. That was my little adventure tonight, taking those pictures. I could not believe what I was seeing. And I hope that you are as outraged as I am. I hope that I'm not completely out to lunch, but I just cannot believe this. I can't believe that this is being sold, like at a mall where kids walk by, you know, and they're obviously, they look like they're children's shirts. Well, they are, because they had sizes that would not fit an adult. So they're obviously meant for children. Some of them anyway. So there you go. Now, let's move on. And I'm taking you out to here because I want to show you this. In 2016, Obama asked what magic wand Donald Trump has to bring jobs back to America, because they aren't going to just come back. 2 years later, Obama's taking credit for the jobs President Trump is bringing back. Classic. Now, I want you to hear this. Let's go back here.
When the job numbers come out, monthly job numbers, and suddenly Republicans are saying it's America, I have to kind of remind them, actually, those job numbers are the same as they were in 2015 and 2016.
Because some of those jobs of the past are just not going to come back. And when somebody says, like the person you just mentioned, who I'm not going to advertise for, that he's going to bring all these jobs back. Well, how exactly are you going to do that? What are you going to do? There's no answer to it. He just says, well, I'm going to negotiate a better deal. Well, how exactly are you going to negotiate that? What magic wand do you have? And usually the answer is, he doesn't have an answer.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So, yeah. This guy's taking credit now. I mean, can you believe it? When you hear how great the economy's doing right now, let's just remember when this recovery started. Oh, I remember, Hussein. I remember quite well. I think it was, let's see now, maybe when we elected President Trump. Yeah, I think that's when the recovery started. But thanks for playing. Uh-huh. And this is kind of cute. Got this off the Great Awakening. They've got great things there. I love that board. The Resistance lose their own poll by 11% of 250K votes on Twitter. The Resistance. Will you be voting for at real Donald Trump in 2020? Please retweet for more votes. 54% yes, 43% no, 3% not sure. Now, it's pretty bad when the Resistance loses their own vote. Viva la Resistance. Oh, yes. Yes. That's classic. It's classic. And then there's this. Believe in something, even if it means killing everyone who stands in your way. Now, that's my favorite one of all of the ones I've seen. There's been a whole lot of memes about that, but that is my favorite one, and kudos to whoever did it because I love it. It is awesome. Believe in something, even if it means killing everyone who stands in your way. And that indeed is what she has done. Now, while we're on the subject of Hillary, I'm going to go out to something I've been sitting on, and I'm a little perplexed because no one else has touched this. I haven't seen it reported anywhere else, and I don't understand why. I really don't. At least those of us that are, pro-Q, pro-Trump should be on this. I don't understand unless it's a fake article. I don't know, but I'm going to show it to you, okay? This is on a website called operamedia.com. I've never heard of them. I've never seen anything they've written before until this. But this is what they ran. Now, if you find out any information about these people, or if you have heard this any other place, please let me know, because I don't understand why it's not being reported. I don't understand why it's not everywhere. So I would ask that you would help it go everywhere. Please, put this on your Twitter, not necessarily, you don't have to put my whole video on there, but just, let people know. I don't understand why this isn't out there. Okay, it says, breaking news, Clinton Foundation ship raided at Port of Baltimore. Now, it seems legit because this picture was taken from news and it looks like Baltimore here. And look at the ship, Chelsea. So, it seems legit to me at this point. And I come down here and it says Clinton Foundation cargo ship raided at Port of Baltimore reveals sick secret. Now, this was September 1st. So when I say I've been sitting on it for a while, I have been, because I've been waiting to see if any, news source that I trust has reported on it, and I can't find it anywhere. But I've decided to bring it to you guys and let you see. I'm not saying that this is a reliable news source because I don't know. I don't know. I've never, this is the first time I've run across it. So, a ship owned and operated by the Clinton Foundation was raided as it arrived from Africa this morning at the Port of Baltimore. The ship, which was supposed to be carrying emergency supplies, was actually carrying a cargo that has authorities stunned. BPA Harbor Master Jake Cummings explained to CNN. I haven't seen this on CNN. Have you seen this on CNN? We received a tip that the Clinton Foundation flagship, the Chelsea, was carrying illegal contraband into the United States. We honestly didn't know what to expect, but what we found was simply surreal. In the middle of the ship's large manifest of containers, most of which were empty, we found 14 containing people. Yes, people. They were all refugees from places like Yemen and Syria, and not a single one had any kind of documentation. We interviewed those who spoke English and were told that for $40,000, anyone can catch a ride to the United States on a ship nobody would ever suspect. Immigration was immediately called and found that 460 people on board illegally, or of the 460 people on board illegally, not one had been through any kind of vetting process. After running the men through facial recognition, they found more than a dozen suspected terrorists who were on the U.S. no-fly list. Those men were about to be unleashed on the public for $40,000 each. Thanks, Hillary. Thanks a whole lot. A spokesman for the Clinton Foundation denied that the foundation was involved. Oh, of course not. What are they going to say? Oh, yeah, we're involved. And promised that they would get to the bottom of the situation. Oh, I bet they did. I bet they got to the bottom of it right away. I bet they tucked all those well, just think of this. 460 people paid $40,000 each. And to who? The Clinton Foundation, of course. It's their ship, named after Chelsea. Oh, isn't that sweet? So they promised that they would get to the bottom of the situation. Oh, I bet they did. 2 other containers were also found to contain multiple crates of contraband, including illegal fruits that could potentially carry foreign insects and foodborne illnesses, weapons without serial numbers on them, and no less than 30 pounds of marijuana. Okay, well, we're not so concerned about the marijuana, but weapons without serial numbers, yeah, that's not a good thing. Not a good thing. And, obviously illegal fruit, it sounds benign, but it's not, because they carry foreign insects and illnesses and so forth, and can infect our crops. Several of the refugees were also found to be in possession of black tar heroin. Oh, really? An addictive, smokable form of the drug. Yeah. Surely the Clintons will manage to weasel their way out of any charges, but at least for now their ships are on the radar. The foundation said it will recall all 11 of its boats for inspection as soon as they finish their current missions. Oh, they're going to allow them to finish their current missions. Oh, and then they're going to inspect them once they're empty. Yeah, that sounds really smart, doesn't it? Yeah. So, yeah, okay. If I sound angry, it's because I'm angry. This is freaking ridiculous. This is coming in to Boston Harbor, and you know what? It's the Clinton Foundation. Probably, how many other ships have come in and not been searched? Have they not found the contraband? Probably all of their ships. Oh, we're going to let them finish their missions, and then we'll inspect them. Once they're empty, what do they expect to find once they're empty? I don't know. This is just, it's unbelievable. And you know something? I do believe this is true. I do. So, I don't know. I may try and put something on the 8chan board and see if Q responds, because it would be absolutely wonderful if Q could address this, because surely he and his team, he, she, they, the team knows. They have to. So anyway, I thought you guys would be interested in that, and I will be gobsmacked if you're not. So there you go. Let's go on. So, in light of that, this meme, yeah, it's true. It's there's so much truth to it that it's just a perfect meme. Now, here's something else that's interesting, and now this is a few days old, and you may have already heard this, but just in case you haven't, I don't want to take the risk that you haven't, because I think everybody needs to hear this. The name of Google's CPU, graphics processing unit, is named Adreno. Google released Chrome in September 2008 and obtained their GPU in 2009 and immediately renamed it to Adreno. Adrenochrome. WTF, it's right under our noses. Sick bastards. Their language, not mine. And this is the old logo, Google Chrome, the old logo. And this is Google Chrome, the new logo. And look, it's a 666, just like the logo for the city of Ottawa, Canada. Yeah, it's a 666 too. Yep, no surprise there. No surprise at all. Yeah, so Google's new logo, Adrenochrome, logo 666. Right in our faces with it. Right in our faces. And I got this from Charlie Kirk. I follow him on Twitter. And Obama just said, these are dangerous times. He's lying again. Facts. Thanks to real Donald Trump, world has never been safer. ISIS is defeated. Our allies respect us. North Korea is being denuclearized. NATO is properly funded. Iran deal terminated and sanctioned. Our enemies fear us. And here is educating liberals, and I really love these tweets. Non-U.S. citizens make up less than 9% of our population, yet they commit 22% of the murders, 17% of the fraud, 33% of the money laundering, 28% of the drug trafficking, and 71% of the simple drug possessions. They also make up 27% of our federal prison population. Build the wall. Agreed. Agreed. Now, I have one more thing to go over, and this, I just saw this today, and I'm not sure what to think about it. But I report, you decide. How about that? Okay. SGT report, the corporate propaganda antidote. The vice president is the treasonous author of the New York Times op-ed. By Dave Hodges, The Common Sense Show. I'm not saying I agree or disagree with this. I don't know. Like I said, I'm reporting, you decide. He was totally for the TPP. He is my modern day version of LBJ. Pence was for Obamacare. Now we know that Pence actually created a PAC to run for president in 2020. What has Pence been promised? This is the leaker of the op-ed for the New York Times. Somebody should ask Pence what goes on in certain tunnels below certain farms in Indiana. The New York Times op-ed is one of the most disgusting displays of cowardice on the part of a so-called journalistic enterprise. Op-eds are not anonymous. To the author of the op-ed, you are a coward and a traitor as an American who expects Trump administration members to work towards the betterment of the country and not focus on the plotting, the demise of the president. This display borders on treason on the level of Benedict Arnold. The authors need to be put in prison. Who is the author? Undoubtedly, the author of this disgusting and fake set of revelations is Vice President Mike Pence. He has been the deep state's insurance policy from the beginning of Trump's term in office, and because Pence is so important to the deep state, it is not likely that Pence delivered the work to the New York Times. He and the deep state would need plausible deniability. Therefore, someone else authored the piece, but make no mistake about it, Pence is the author. Pence is the source of, why do they keep spelling his name wrong? Pence is the source of most of the White House leaks and is easy to prove that Pence is the president in waiting, and I am talking about 2020, not 2024. I have never approved of President Trump's choice for vice president for reasons that will reiterate later in this article. Pence and Trump agenda are horribly mismatched. I have to honestly wonder about the journalistic integrity of somebody who keeps spelling the vice president's name wrong. Does he not have spell check? Like, this is odd to me. So right now, as I'm reading this, that takes away a little bit of credibility in my mind anyway. And who cares whether this person has approved of President Trump's choice for vice president or not? That doesn't prove or disprove anything. When Trump made his VP announcement, I did not waver in my support of Trump, but I was very vocal in my opposition to Pence. I was roundly criticized by many Trump supporters for expressing my opposition to the Pence appointment. Now it would appear that a big "I told you so" may be in order. Pence is salivating at the notion that the Democrats or some nefarious set of people will remove Donald Trump from office through invoking the 25th Amendment's disability clause. The Democrats allege that Trump is mentally ill, and this will be their justification. Assassination remains a real possibility. This person has not told us where he's getting this information from. So at this point, I'm wondering. These stunning facts have given rise to the fact that Trump's biggest internal obstacle may prove to be Pence and his unbridled ambition to become the next president. Now, how does he know that Trump has an unbridled ambition to become the next president? Have we seen this anywhere? Has it come out? Has it been, this to me, I don't know. This is very shoddy reporting, if you ask me. Vice President Pence's true colors surfaced immediately after the inauguration. I said it when he was selected for VP spot. Okay, who cares what you said? Stop tooting your own horn. Pence is a globalist and a selfish opportunist. This fact is now being borne out as he started a PAC. I don't even know what that stands for. If someone knows, please put it in the comments below. In order that he may run for president in 2020, not 2024, which is what any loyal VP would be doing. Now, I don't know. Where's he getting this information? Are you guys aware of that? I haven't heard that. The name of the PAC is the Great American Committee. Why would Vice President need his own PAC? This is not the Trump-Pence PAC. It is merely the Pence PAC and is unashamedly demonstrates Pence's lack of support for Trump and his ideals as he is preparing to run for president in 2020. This should not be surprising, as Pence should have already publicly defended his boss in the media when the revelations about Trump's locker room talk surfaced during the campaign. Pence did not stand by Trump. He could have said something like, what would the country rather have, a man who engages in common locker room talk or a woman who is a traitor to her country? Crickets were chirping in the Pence camp. Now, I will agree with that. When Pence went to Trump over Flynn's lying to him, Trump did fire Flynn. Why didn't Pence hold a press conference and stating this? And that's not even a well-written sentence. Instead, Pence, again misspelled, left issue open, hoping it would engulf Trump, which it did to some degree. And when you begin a new sentence, you put a capital. The lies being told by Comey with regard to the obstruction of justice allegation and collusion with the Russians. Pence, okay, that's not a full sentence. It's a sentence fragment. Pence is Trump's Achilles heel. Okay, I'm sorry I'm pointing out this, but all of this has to do with journalistic integrity. Really, you're writing something of this nature, which is really explosive, and you have it that poorly written. I have to wonder about your journalistic skills. I'm just saying. So Pence is no stranger to the New York Times. This is one of the reasons why the allegation is so easy to prove. Pence's loyalty is on full display in a previous New York Times article from the New York Times. The centerpiece of the effort, The centerpiece of the effort is a string of dinners held every few weeks at the Vice President's official residence on the grounds of the Naval Observatory in Washington. Mr. Pence and his wife Karen have presided over at least 4 such soirees, and more are in the works. Each has drawn roughly 30 to 40 guests, including a mix of wealthy donors such as the Chicago hedge fund manager Kenneth C. Griffin and the brokerage firm founder Charles Schwab, as well as Republican fundraisers and executives from companies like Dow Chemical and the military contractor United Technologies. The guests and their families collectively donated or helped raise millions of dollars to support the Trump-Pence ticket in 2016, and some are viewed in Republican finance circles as likely supporters for 2 new groups created to advocate for Mr. Trump, Mr. Pence, their legislative agenda, and congressional allies. The dinner guest lists were curated in part by 2 of Mr. Pence's closest advisors, who have also played important roles in starting the new political groups, America First Policies and America First Action. Mr. Pence has appeared at recent events outside his official residence with prospective donors to the groups. Okay. One might argue that Pence is raising money for Trump. That's what I would assume for the 2020 election. Then why did the money exclusively go into Pence's PAC? Why does the VP need his own PAC? Pence is becoming a major liability to Trump. He is actively plotting to replace Trump in 2020 because presumably someone from the deep state has indicated a change is coming. Now, okay, you know what? This person's not proven anything to me. Not at all. So I know I said I report, you decide, and certainly, you're an adult. Of course you can decide, but I don't know. This hasn't done it for me. And Alex Jones, who's, we already know, is against the movement. He's controlled opposition. Alex Jones also has previously expressed questions about Pence. Many of the criticism of Pence sound like the following. You know what this sounds like to me, really? And I'm not going to go into what Alex Jones says because I don't care, because he's controlled opposition and he's already been outed by Q. So I really don't care what he has to say. But this sounds like it's more attempts to divide. This time they're trying to divide Pence and Trump. They're just throwing crap and seeing what sticks. That's what they're doing. They're just throwing crap at the wall, seeing what sticks. That's my opinion. Anyway, I wanted to bring that to you. There is no Trump presidency without WikiLeaks. There are a number of factors that led to the election of Donald Trump. Among them would be the steadfast and aggressive support of the independent media and the data dump on Hillary Clinton by WikiLeaks. Without WikiLeaks, there is no Trump presidency. I don't know about that. Subsequently, without WikiLeaks, there is Mike Pence vice presidency, but don't tell that to Pence. Okay. Mike Pence has previously said the following in a Fox interview. Trafficking in national security information, as is alleged WikiLeaks has done here, is a very serious offense. It represents a compromise of the security of the American people, he said. So what? Okay, I'm not reading any more of this. It's all caca as far as I'm concerned, but let me know what you guys think. I really am interested in what you guys have to think, because what you guys have to say and what you think, because I do think that for the most part, at least the people that I see making comments are, level-headed and smart people. So there you go. Anyway, that's it for this evening. It's now 11:38 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's still September 9th. And you know what? It's going to remain September 9th for another 20 minutes. And then it will be September 10th. So there you go. And there's a good chance that the sun will rise tomorrow and set in the evening. I will talk to you guys later. Hope you have a good night's sleep. Stay well, stay safe. I'll talk to you soon.